Hey, buddy.
Hey, how's it going, everybody?
It's great, man. It's great. I don't think it played over the sound share though.
Oh, that sucks. Are you sure?
Why don't we just
nobody heard it?
They heard it, but it sounded like it was coming through. It was warbly, and it sounded like it was coming through your speaker.
All right, next time, guys.
No big deal. It's no big deal. But let's go ahead and get this out of the way right now. Yes, you agree?
Yes. What are we getting? Hey, everybody. How's it going? Welcome to the show. Try and figure this out.
Thank you very much. I'm happy to be here.
Everybody, that's ATN on the other line. It's just going to be the two of us today.
Hello, Fantinuum. Hello, Brucha. Jill Bipil. Hello.
Yeah, that's great. All right. Hey, everybody.
I
like it. It says the low quality has a soft charm to it, without a doubt.
There. It's really hard to point at stuff in the real world when you're using cameras and stuff.
Am I you want me to turn my picture on?
Nah, man, I'm pointing. I was trying to point something it's right here in reality, but it's right here in your reality. It's very confusing to me.
You mean over there?
Where? I don't see your hands. I don't see hands.
Well, it's where I'm pointing. I remember where I'm looking.
I can't see your hands, man. I don't know where you're pointing. There we go. There we go.
Like I got to get them all in the camera, and then anyway.
What's going on, fellas? And by fellas, I mean the ladies too.
Yeah,
we're all fellas.
Exactly.
We're all fellas. You know, it's a truncated version of fellow. So
I find this is the best thing I can do to get Jill to hear anything I'm saying.
She is in chat.
Just joking.
She can't talk back.
Sure she can.
Not really. Well, not that you can hear.
It's funny because I thought there was a comic that she had read already as a preview coming in, but it was actually just an advertisement on the back of something coming out tomorrow. And so maybe we can get her in for a review of that book when it does come out. And then we can invite her on the show.
Oh, that's fine. Yeah, that'd be fun.
That'll be a good reason. I'll just say,
it would also be a good way of indicating just how bad we are using technology. It'd be a complete cluster. And I think,
she has no idea what we're doing here or how to do it.
Who does she work for? Who does she work for? Some tech firm, right?
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, actually, I've never heard of her. What's her name? You have a girlfriend? Huh. Crazy. Don't you own a comic book store?
Yeah. It's what do they say on The Simpsons? I wish I had it queued up and then I could share that maybe. We would call it the Widowmaker if they ever were married.
The comic book store.
Yeah, it's when he has a heart attack.
Yeah. Every industry has a Widowmaker, just FYI. And yours is the store itself and the stress involved with dealing with Diamond and all that.
I worked with a prototype comic book guy, Rory. If anybody wants to look up Rory Root, Rory Root, you can see a dude that looks a lot like the comic book guy in The Simpsons.
I can just get him right here. I don't need to look him up. I just oh, it's Rory. Yeah. And no,
we have Rod in the chat. Rod is just a Rican in his comics. He has
Rod.
Yeah, he introduces all sorts of YouTubers out there, and it's all about comics, so that's cool.
Nice.
Yeah, and actually Discovery Bay took a little bit of a hiatus, JB over there. And I guess it was like an anniversary or something. And he came back today or this week for the first time, and he's back plugging all the different YouTube shows that talk about comic books out there.
Nice.
So anybody that wants to know any more about stuff that's going on out there, you should definitely check out Discovery Bay Comics. It's a pretty cool service that he provides, and there's a lot of other stuff that goes along with it too.
Awesome.
JB, that is, and Rod. So yeah, there you go.
Okay.
Well, I have to work almost all the time, so I don't get to really check out those shows. There's been a few moments where I've been actually able to watch Night Tiger. He talks a lot about comics that he's picked up on his travels, and that's pretty cool. He usually has an eye towards like older comic books, so you get to see a lot of things you might not have seen before. And so there you go. What do you think about that?
I was trolling Jill. No big deal.
And yeah, like Rod says, hit that like button when you come on in and watch this show. We're gonna have an unboxing. I'm gonna wait for probably the 25th minute, and I don't know exactly what it is that we have. I mean, I know what we sent out.
Why are you waiting for a specific minute, being the 25th minute? What's the significance of 25 today?
I don't know. Oh, it's always been that way when we do the unboxing.
It is?
Yeah, we do our little.
I didn't know we had a thing.
It's so I can say, hey, everybody, go to the 25th minute, and this is when I'll have the unboxing going on.
Oh, that's smart. That's actually quite. I shouldn't say actually.
I plan for these things.
Like I'm surprised that you came up with something smart, but
I have a list. I'm really excited to talk about this list. I'm going to try and do the screen share when I do it. So if you're at all interested, we could start with that. I
like trippy stuff, so by all means, go to that screen share whenever you're ready.
Let me just get this really quick.
It's like doing DMT or something. You just
it'll just be for a moment, but yeah, let me do this screen share and get that bad boy going, and then all right, everybody. Marvel announced that Loki, which just started up not too long ago, is already canceled. We had a delay in getting the 3rd issue. It has now come out. Fans of Kibblesmith, I think he's a comedian, they're not too happy about this. But anyway, as is usual, a ongoing series or an unannounced mini-series from Marvel is ending what feels prematurely. Continuing with that theme, we have Ironheart. Ironheart started not too long ago. This was Eve Ewing's first work at Marvel. She got hired famously for having tweeted something about being similar to the character. Anyway, she got this job. I think she like has
jetpack boots.
Yeah, I think that's what it is. Anyway, I think she went to Harvard. I think this character went to Harvard. And
who else went to Harvard?
And I don't know, lots of people. Probably
exactly. That's
snobs. That's who goes to Harvard.
People who have to tell you they went to Harvard.
Winchester from MASH went to Harvard. I'm not sure if that's true, but
I don't know.
He listened to classical music. What a bum.
All right, how long is Loki gonna run? How many issues?
I think it's gonna go like till December, so it might hit like 6 issues.
They just gotta drag it into next year, huh?
Well, December is not next year, but yeah.
No. What if it's delayed?
Yeah, all right, whatever. Ironheart, same thing. So Eve Ewing is also writing Marvel team up with with Ms. Marvel. And Ms. Marvel has had Spider-Man as a guest star and also Captain Marvel as a guest star. So maybe we'll see Ironheart as a guest star in that book. All right. Last but not least, from Marvel, we have a Tony Stark Iron Man. This has been announced to be canceled in December. This was written by Dan Slott. Dan Slott had a really long, for the most part, I feel, pretty darn good run on Amazing Spider-Man. And after that, he got on Tony Stark Iron Man and Fantastic Four. They have when I was talking in the store about Iron Man and how it's being canceled, and I kind of likened it to wrestling, where you talk about, like I'm telling you about all these crazy angles that happen, and I build on them and I'm telling you them. What I'm really telling you is a distilled version of all the crap I had to wade through to get to the really good stuff to tell you. This is the penance I paid so that you can know about Tony Stark Iron Man. Although I'm not going to tell you anything. I'm going to let you know.
That's appropriate to my level of pre-knowledge as well. Hey, Larry King says hi.
Oh, Larry King. That's awesome. Hey, back. And then last but not least, we have Black Crown Comics. Black Crown Comics.
These are the people associated with what company?
IDW. IDW is associated with a lot of loss. Firing their main guy and then hiring him back.
Aren't they the third biggest company in comics?
I think it was 4 or 5, but no. So the Black Crown was the Shelley Bond era of Vertigo, and she followed Karen Berger. Karen Berger has her own imprint over at Dark Horse, and Shelley Bond has hers over at IDW, or rather did. There have been some titles that haven't come out. For the most part, for me, the titles have underperformed sales-wise, also story-wise, and art really hasn't been up to snuff as far as I'm concerned. They just recently had a new book by Dave Lapham, who's like one of my favorite creators in comic books. He was doing like the crime comics when nobody else was, or at least first in the 90s. And he did Stray Bullets, and I mean, what a fantastic series that is. And he also does the art. And this is after he kicked off Valiant. He also helped kick off Defiant. These were all Jim Shooter things in the 90s. Yeah. He did. He did Harbinger, the one that's like worth so much money, right?
Lapham did that?
Yeah, he did that.
I had no idea.
Yeah, it's he was kind of he kind of has like, at first you might think it's a little bit of a boring style, but he tells such a perfect story with the pictures. And Lodger, the book he did, was just so muddled and confusing. I don't know if it got better as it went along, but I was out after 1, even though I like the guy so much. Also, Jenkins did a book for them, and it also Kid Lobotomy, this one right here. It didn't do so well as far as I'm concerned. And again, sales kind of sucked. I have one customer that really likes the line and actually doesn't like the Karen Berger stuff, but I personally like the Karen Berger stuff a little bit more, although it's had a lot of lateness issues for most of the books. And then, Anthony Bourdain. So there you go. I'm going to stop sharing, and hopefully this is working right now. Hey, guys.
Seems to be working.
Oh, as a Bob Layton. That's very interesting. Bob Layton is a longtime Iron Man artist, and some people think he's one of the best Iron Man artists. I think he's solid. And
what does Iron Man have to say?
I think he would agree. He's like, I've had some Don Heck issues, and if you have to live through that, you'll take Bob Layton. There was a time, this is the greatest thing ever. So I'm reading Secret Wars as a kid. And
this is a flashback?
Yeah, this is a flashback.
Awesome.
This isn't then I'm just trying to get the welcome to the show, and then I don't know, something.
Do you need a pet to do that stuff for you?
Yeah, I need you to do it.
Get a cat. You know what I mean?
Look at this. Hey, and everybody, hit the like button and follow us on Instagram. I post a lot of pictures of comics that we are selling in the store, and I'm going to soon be putting up the things that I'm slabbing, including this in 10 minutes. In 10 minutes. I'm going to unbox this CGC. It could be a Green Lantern.
No.
I don't know what it is. I don't know what it is.
Don't tell us anymore. Right, you're done.
It's going to be an awesome comic book.
It's
really awesome. It's going to be really good. So let's see. I just wanted to put our names up, but I'll just.
And yes, it's for sale.
And I have 6 for sale. Exactly.
You have 6? Yeah, it's called artificial scarcity, right? You only have one. You only have one.
So I think that is true to some degree. There are going to be the people that have like a ton of comics. Like, all right, so there's other shows on the YouTube that you can watch. There's this guy named Comic Tom 101, and he was talking to the guy he talks with, and his dude who owns the store says that he has like 8 Hulk 181s, which is suggested to be the first appearance of Wolverine. Okay. And he has 8 of them, and I only have 1, and it's because I saved that guy's comics.
Yeah, sure.
Or me and my brother did, I should say. And it is, he has 8 of them, and they're out there. I mean, this is back when they printed a lot of comics, and they might be mangled and written all over or whatever. But there's Hulk 181s out there. You just have to find them. Someone probably has duplicates. They may or may not know what they have. It would
take a death at this point to make somebody not know what they had.
No, the thing is that most people come into the store and they're like, "Oh, I looked on the internet, and I saw what these are going for." And I'm like, "Well, congratulations. What do you want from me then?"
So go ahead and sell it on the internet. Why are you bringing it to me?
So there I am. You can see me on Instagram at Filthy Burger also. And I don't know. What are you, Paperback Goldmine?
I am irrelevant to that.
Plug yourself. Plug yourself.
Not doing it. Thanks anyway.
So how's your week been?
Well, I edited all last week, so I've just been kind of
What'd you edit?
Sleeping on the couch. Our podcast of the first episode of Gardens of the Moon, which is 2.5 hours long and took 2 working days to get edited down to that length.
4 or 5 hours to record.
It was 4 hours and 15 minutes when it was. The file was 4 hours and 15 minutes. But, we dithered around. We do all that stuff beforehand. No big deal. No big deal. So I did that. What else did I do? Nothing. No, I did. I did cable management. It's been a long time coming. I've been meaning to do it. And then I did it. And it took 3 hours, and it was glorious. I need Velcro. I realize now that those temporary Velcro binds, those are better than twisty tie or zip ties. Definitely. I want
zip
those.
Ties? They're loosened?
Zip ties are great, and I have plenty. I mean, I took them from work when I quit. Did I steal from General Electric? No.
No. This is anyway, for the podcast.
I did that, and it was awesome. But let's see. Am I done? That was it. That's pretty much it. Making plans, man. Going to Texas. Going to, do stuff.
Texas.
Coming up. Yeah.
All right.
Beginning of November, big book sale in Waco. Big one.
So check this out,
buddy.
This guy comes in and he has a comic book.
One.
Yeah, and I can't remember what it was. It was so nothing.
Barbie.
And he's like, "You want this?" And I'm like, will you buy this?
Do you want this?
Will you buy this?
Yeah.
I'm like,
yeah, I will.
Yeah, I'll give you $1 for it.
$50, dude. Straight up. You don't know what you've got.
And then he's all, and then he said, "Do you buy books?" I'm like, "Yeah, we buy books." And he pulls out a book, and I'm like, "Oh no, we don't. We only do sci-fi fantasy books." He had the Turner Diaries.
The what diaries?
The Turner Diaries.
Okay.
I've never seen the Turner Diaries before.
Really?
Well, actually, I had a friend who read it, but I didn't see him reading it, so I've never actually come across it.
That's
There you go.
that's you could probably sell that on the internet. But I mean, do you get in
Probably. I don't
trouble
want
for
to.
selling stuff like that on the internet?
Why? It's nothing bad.
I don't know. Like people still buy Mein Kampf, don't they?
Yeah, but again, I'm not going to get into a whole Mein Kampf conversation. I'm just
Let's
going to
talk about Mein Kampf. Come
It's
on, let's
just
do it.
words.
Yeah, but the font is that sharp German font. Do you know what I mean?
think they could do like a typeset thing, and it would be a little bit better, maybe. like
It-
M.
It's part of the creative process. The author chose that font.
Yeah.
And it's important to read it in the angry German. You have to read it in angry German.
It always sounds so angry.
Yeah, I did Fantinium. I mean, I knew they were out there, but yeah, I realized their value now. So you should so hear me out. If somebody comes in with a single comic book and they're like, "Hey man, you buy comic books?" and you tell them, "Dude, where did you get that? I will give you X dollars," right? Just way overblown, just like way overblown. And be like, "I must have that now. Give it to me." If they balk, they will leave your store and they will do research, and you will have wasted their time instead of them wasting your time. Yeah.
I had a customer come in. Well, they were selling. So they were selling. And they had like the first 7 Submariners, 60s. They had Strange Tales. They had Tales to Astonish. They had, these are all 60s Marvel. And I took them out of the Ziploc bags that they were in. They were in Ziploc big bags. Right?
They tried.
And I'm like, they did. And I very well appreciate that. And I'm like, if you leave this store without taking our offer,
yeah,
I highly recommend that you buy some silver bags and boards from us. So they also had really Iron Man also. These were like,
hey, were we just talking about Iron Man?
I always hated Iron Man. Anyway,
yeah,
I'm looking at them like this in the light. The colors, when you bring it up like this. So the guy I'm helping sell the Silver Age stuff, the one I have in the CGC box right here.
3 minutes.
His covers just pop. I mean, they're beautiful. They just like, you look at them and it's like boom. It's like the color is almost like coming up off the page, and it's like it is. It really, it's just amazing. And they're darker and lighter shades. The coloring is so much better back then. And whatever they're doing, it's like, and everything's so boring now. Even when it's good, it's not that great. Anyway, I offered them some money, but I knew I should have gone up a little bit more. But the problem is that Jeffrey thinks that even when you offer more, if they're not willing to buy or to sell, all they're going to do, it's just going to give them more impetus to go home and like really consider what they want to do with what they have.
Why don't you just broach the subject with that question right there? When people come in with a bunch of books, be like, what do you want to do with these? Exactly. Are you going to try to sell them online? Right. Because I can help you do that. I can talk you through some stuff, but I'm going to get a consultancy fee out of this regardless.
Well, it goes without saying.
No, I mean, charge people for that service because they're coming in trying to steal it from you.
No. Well, the thing is that I told them that we also do grading for people. So if you want to have like a legitimate grade without sending them out to, and I also told them that part of the reason why my offer might feel a little lower than it is because we're going to have to go out and we're going to have to slab these things. We're going to have to get them pressed, and it's going to take a long time before we're just getting this box in, and we got that one X-Men 2 or 3 weeks ago. So,
like I said, so by now, you know exactly how much money that costs, right?
Right.
You know the formula involved, so you can now tell people how much it's going to cost them for you to help them sell their stuff.
Yeah, well,
you can put that out as a service with dollar amounts attached to let people actually think about it. Because if they assume it's nothing but hidden fees, they're obviously going to turn you down.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you never know what the person it's like you said, what is that person looking to do? And also, maybe, that that amount really said, you know what, if we went and did the work, we could get a lot more. You figure you go into a comic store and it's not going to be half of what they can make, and then adding on top of all the effort that it takes. I mean, it takes a lot of effort.
Not to them, it doesn't. They assume that you turn that stuff. It's like alchemy, right? So you take comic books and you turn them into gold. That's what you do. And they of course take all the gold. You get none.
All right. Here we go. Here's the comic book.
Wait. That's it? Just boom? Just one.
Well, I've been working on it.
All right, guys, put your pants on.
I don't have can you do like a drum roll?
Ooh, that is kind of nice, isn't it?
Oh wait,
look at that! I can see myself in the glare. That's awesome. Make it big, dude. Make it big. Get me off the screen. Nobody cares. There we go.
All right, so this got a 5.5. This
Crack it open, send it back.
I know. I don't appreciate this at all. This is nice. This is a good book. This is the first time that Barry Allen, that's this Flash over here, meets up with Jay Garrick. That's the FTD florist guy over on the other side.
That's so true.
And it's issue number 123. It's a really awesome number. Fantino, you're so funny. He always goes for the penis jokes. It's penis is all he has on his mind. This is like iconic cover. Everybody knows it.
It's a great cover.
It's a great.
It is beautiful. Yeah. I mean, the colors are great from here, and I'm on like 420p or something.
I like the number.
Well, it's the only number.
Well,
So, question: do you agree with the 5.5? Well, your brother is known from a sampling of one to be accurate when he grades comics. So how do you do?
Well, I don't know if he had this pressed or not, but let's see what he says.
Okay.
So 5.5, a little bit better than middle. We had that X-Men, which had the chipping. God, I don't know. I looked at this and I thought there must be let me see here.
Do they give you like an itemized reasoning behind their?
All right, so there is a way to get that. You have to pay extra for that. Of course we do.
Of course you do.
Of course we do.
What a bunch of.
You don't do this without doing that. It's important.
You can't read my lips.
Not only that, anybody can get it off of that barcode if they pay for the service. There might be some soiling that I didn't know about. Who knows? Maybe even. But I don't. Yeah, that's the
Come
worst.
on, Fantinuum. Let's go. Come on, soiling that he didn't know about.
Oh, I see a little chip in the corner right there. God, this advertisement right here. Larry, if he's still in here, definitely knows this kind of advertisement.
Wow.
I mean, that's
for
like
$2. What year was that from? What year? What year is that from?
Let me see here. It says. It doesn't say. A 61. 61.
1961. All right.
That X-Men was 63, and it was a 5. So looking at my brother, again, another drum roll. He said a 6.
6. Okay. So he was within half a point.
He was.
All right. So that's 2. He's been pretty accurate. He's been pretty accurate.
I usually tell him to knock whatever he thinks down a grade. There's some that we're waffling on from the other stuff that we have back here that we're sending out soon. Or maybe we have, I'm not sure. Anyway, so there you go. He's doing pretty good as far as that's concerned. I think if a person was to pay $100 an hour like we charge to grade people's books, then they would get a pretty good assessment. And I mean, he's done it before where he, so we had a customer that got stuff stolen and he called his insurance agency and they wanted to get someone to come out and look at the comics or, talk to someone. So,
they got stolen though, right?
his other comics, so that they could presuppose what his list of other comics that were in his insurance policy, so that he can get reimbursed.
They're so dumb.
And they got the A's, and he puts A for Amazing Spider-Man. Let this be a lesson to everybody: never put Amazing Spider-Man under A. Make them work to get to the S's. It goes so Spider-Man, Amazing Spider-Man, and then every other Spider-Man. You make them work to steal your shit. Of course, Batman's in the front, but what are you gonna do?
Reverse alphabetize everything.
Exactly. And X-Men are always on the bottom. Always on the bottom. X-Men.
Or don't organize your stuff at all.
You're gonna get a freaking hernia if you steal my stuff.
Hey, so somebody wants to see that ad again, and for your information, $2 in today's money from the era of that comic book is $17 and some change.
I never ordered anything from comics, hardly ever.
I mean, I wouldn't spend $17 on Civil War reenactment.
$2?
No, is what? 17.
Oh, okay, very good.
17.16 is what it says. I wouldn't spend $17 for a nephew for that stuff. Or a niece, trying to be inclusive.
$1.98 wasn't the problem. It was credit cards, checks, and waiting 6 to 8 weeks for anything. Can you imagine?
Yes, I can. In fact, I have done. I mean, I remember I bought stuff. I bought stuff out of the back of like some dumb magazine when I was a kid. I know I bought comics that way. Those guys that would be like, we have Silver Surfer number 50 signed by whoever the hell did Silver Surfer. And I would be like, yes, please. Here's my money.
Well, this ad didn't really change hardly at all for till 82. There was always like some Green Army man for like $2.15.
Yeah.
Or something.
Wait, are you saying that inflation didn't kick off till 1982? What? Hey, Fantinuum, congratulations on going to a D&D game. That stuff is amazeballs. I love D&D,
He was very worried about it. He was.
What kind of worried?
He didn't want to get shunned. He didn't want to get shunned.
By whom?
By Dungeons and Dragons dudes and
nerd shunning is the worst. It's the worst.
Well,
I'd rather be shunned by cheerleaders.
You don't know.
You don't know. You don't. I hope it went well. That sounds fun, though. I know. It is funny. Well, anyway, I hope the game went well. What's your character? What'd you play? I know you didn't run the game, seeing as this is your first time and all that.
Did he say he played, or did he just go to it?
Hold on, let me reread this. Why don't you put it up on the thing, man? I can't click it. Speaking of tabletop figures and games, I just attended my first D&D game this Saturday.
All right, very good.
And by that, I assume Dragonborn character. You made fun of your Dragonborn character. Who is he? Who's this jerk?
I assume it was the game master, right?
Oh, too good. Well, I hope you had a good time, man. D&D's fun.
It's tough at first to use your imagination that way, but
unless you
if you get a chance to like really exercise those muscles, it's quite the high. Let me tell you. I mean, you're actually playing a different person and a game all at the same time, and because it's role playing, and I mean, it's not like having to like have foam paddles and hitting your siblings or anything like that.
That stuff is
that's
bullshit.
Not good role playing.
That is
role playing
is
dressing in capes and going into the forest at night.
Look, you wear your cape to the D&D game. That's what you do. You don't go into the woods. Do you want to get?
Don't wear elf ears. Don't do it.
Do you know how white kids get shot? They get shot because they dress in cloaks and stuff, and they run around in the boondocks. That's how. Be like, I thought it was a dog. Yeah, don't do it. We did that when I was a kid. But Amp Guard, man, I can't stand that stuff. It makes me crazy. Like just watching them is like, this is a part of me. Like my dad was a jock, so I'm half jock.
Oh, you are. So you didn't get
yeah.
bullied for playing Dungeons and Dragons?
No, I went to a very small school, man. Everybody knew everybody. There really weren't too many bullies.
Gaming was popular in Texas, right?
Not where I grew up.
Not where I grew up. I had 3 friends that did it. And one had football practice.
Yeah. D&D
Yeah,
awesome.
well, I was telling Jeff, this is the Jeff story, if you will, for the night, that, and it's really about me, that we would get together and play Dungeons and Dragons in high school, but it was actually just a pretense to do either like, I almost said the F word, screw around at night outside the house, or actually play some other role-playing game like Gamma Worlds.
Yeah.
The ones that nobody really wants to play, but I don't want to play another Dungeons and Dragons game. We played a lot of superhero games also, DC Heroes especially.
Was it fun? Did you have a good time? Because I wouldn't have enjoyed that.
No, DC Heroes was great. It was so anybody that knows Champions knows that it's like they use 0.5 for their numbering. So I don't just have a 37 strength; I have a 37.5.
Old D&D did that. They had that damn 100% after the 18 for strength.
That's different. That's only if you're older than 18. That's 18 and then superior strength.
What's your strength? 18 what?
1804.
Be like, get out of here.
Yeah.
Might as well have a 16.
You might as well just only have, yeah, exactly. Oh, okay, there you go. I didn't know that. Puzzles are great.
I want to know what nerds did that, like, what's a normal nerd hobby if it's not gaming or D&D or books or stuff? Like, what do they do? The chemistry sets? What?
Yeah, probably like erector sets back in the day. That was like a little bit, I mean, like
erector sets? That was before my time, man.
It was probably on the tail end of when I was a kid growing up. Lincoln Logs.
Robotics.
I remember those. Oh, Lincoln Logs.
That's young also. That's not just that's little kid stuff, man.
I guess that's true. I'm just trying to think of anything where I guess Legos maybe. That's pretty creative also.
Yeah, like if you like Minecraft, you probably like Legos.
Well, yeah, exactly. And not only that, but I'll tell you, those Lego movies and the comics that we sell in the all ages section, they do like DC characters as Lego characters. And it's just really ugly drawings too. But they're block shaped, so who cares? It's a round head and it's got a cowl, so it's Batman,
Bug collecting, cool.
Oh yeah, I remember ant farms. That was a thing.
I think Fantinuum's pulling our chain right now, though.
Oh, really?
I'm trying to think too.
Stamps?
My dad was into stamp collecting, weirdly. But
Paul Chang is my buddy from high school. He had in his room like Air Force airplanes models built and like hanging from his ceiling.
That's a good one. Model building was still around. Yeah, I had friends that did that.
His brother made those and put them in his room.
In his room, he's like, I messed up here. It's up. You see how this piece is backwards? Yeah, you can have it.
Yeah, that's right. Well, I don't know if it was that.
Jerk.
He's kind of like imposing himself on him. But that was pretty hilarious. Sorry about that if anybody that knows Paul sees this. Doubtful.
Nerd stuff, though. I don't know, man. I didn't grow up reading or caring or any of that stuff, so I don't know.
We kind of skirted around the issue a couple weeks ago, about some conversation on social media when it comes to comic books.
Okay.
Actually, drawings.
Yeah,
there was this tweet that a person sent out, and it was basically men. Let's just admit, men maybe shouldn't be drawing women anymore in comics.
Wait. That was what was.
Yeah, I kind of stuttered it, but
Yeah, but that was the quote from a woman. I take it.
I couldn't tell you.
Oh, so it's a person then.
No, but as conversations have been going on with it, everybody's piling on, and they either do or don't like whoever is being brought up in the conversation.
Yeah,
So
sure.
J. Scott Campbell is one of the people that is being brought in the conversation because he commented about that tweet and said, it's not really so much about the person saying that as much as there's 30,000 people that would agree with that. And you can't trust those numbers all the time for whatever reason.
Statistics
Russian
are misleading or can be used in a bad
Well,
way.
you can pay for likes and you can pay for retweets. And stuff
That's
like
true.
That. So anybody that, I mean, it's so, and then not only that, but this person I think is like so innocuous. Like it sometimes things burn up and get like, catch wildfire like that. But a lot of times it's just manufactured. But
do you mean that
Campbell commented about it? So then other people pile on, and basically, so he draws very, very suggestive, sexy women, usually in clothing. And a year ago, and I don't know if you remember, maybe it was 2 years ago, when we were still filming the other show, I had purchased from another store cheaply some J. Scott Campbell books, because comic books, and I was going to mark them up to like $5 or $6, and I paid like $1 for them. And it was just because he had a lot of heat going on because people were kind of talking smack about something that he did in like 2014, which was like a calendar of fairy tale characters. And one in particular was Pocahontas from, oh no, not Pocahontas, Tiger Lily from Peter Pan, sorry. And she's bound up, and it's when she's being canoed out, and she looks really good. Everybody else looks really good. It's a really nice picture if you dig that kind of stuff. And so everybody was like, oh, you're making a younger character adult, and you're sexualizing it. It borders on pedophilia, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera.
That's a stretch. The first 2 points are accurate enough.
Well, I don't know how old Tiger Lily's supposed to be, but whatever. It's Peter Pan. Give me a break.
I've read Peter Pan, by the way. We can have that discussion if you'd like.
Later. I don't want to forget that J. Scott Campbell did Gen 13, and
yes.
But the thing is like, I gotta tell you, I've sold more Gen 13s really to women and the J. Scott Campbell ones than, well, all right, maybe not more, but the more of superhero comics or crazy comics that are out there, I have sold like people's first superhero comics that have been the Gen 13s. My cousin Kirsten, that was her first superhero comic that I showed her, and she dug it. I was kind of like, I don't know if I should really show this to her. Caitlin is like busting out in the comic, and Grunge is like he's like such a perv, but that's the comedy of the character also. So it's so I've sold out to a lot of women. And Danger Girl, same way. Anything J. Scott Campbell is a lot of times is that. Anyway, recently somebody else was like, yeah, you suck. He was using an icon, or an icon for himself on Twitter of Mary Jane, Spider-Man's love interest, and J. Scott Campbell retweeted that and said, it's funny when a person is dogging you and then it doesn't realize that he's using a picture that you drew. And then he shows like that icon and then that picture, and then he shows his picture and it's like dead on. It's like, it's funny as hell.
That is funny.
Oh, and also in addition to that, also Tarot, the Curse of the Witchblade or something like that and Catwoman, especially Jim Ballant ears. A lot of ladies, even then. And she had huge balloon boobs when he drew her. And he's only gotten worse since Tarot. But, yeah. There you go. It's what do you think about well, you're a science fiction fantasy guy.
Nerd.
There's always sexualized interpretations of ladies on covers, and not only that, in sci-fi books, they're usually kissing other women, right?
I don't like to generalize that far, but the covers are rarely appropriate to the book material in general. In
Especially
the
the pulp
old
ones.
days,
Yeah.
it was a lot of just like, oh, woman crash landed on surface of planet with large exposed, almost scantily clad, with just a helmet. A lot of curves, and then the story is like, what happened to these rats on this planet in this laboratory? Weird.
Bruja, when you want to pull the trigger on Belladonna, you just let me know. Unless I screwed up. Sorry.
Wow.
Yes, I agree. And I mean, like, the fantasy books are like that too. Like crazy.
Fantasy. It's fantasy. It's fiction. Let's just go there, okay? It's fiction. And people don't want to look at pictures of people they're not attracted to. They don't want to look at those pictures. Sorry. Okay.
Unless
so
it's the Elephant Man, right?
That's disgusting. Why would I want to stare at that guy? Okay. And like,
well, I just meant the movie, but yeah.
It's disgusting, okay? Like, I'm sorry.
Oddities, freaks. Henry Miller in The Tropic of what? Cancer?
Capricorn, Cancer. I don't know.
That's the one I read mostly. He talks about picking out like the ugly parts of people. He was talking about women.
Mm-hmm.
Like maybe she has a snaggle tooth. And he's like, that's
that
way more cute. Beautiful.
Snaggle teeth are cute.
Well, I guess it all depends on what you think is a defect or not, or not a defect, but something that's an abnormality. He's like, pick out something, a crooked nose. Amongst all the sea of beautiful people, I think it's a comparison to how ugly he is. Really ugly.
Well, I mean, he's not Bukowski ugly, but
yeah, Bukowski had being old going for him.
Well, drunk too, and a dick. He was also an asshole. So
they are cute.
He wrote great books, though. He really did. They're so easy to read.
Oh, there you go. Do you like heavy metal?
You talking to me?
Yeah, you.
I used to.
I like the Richard Corbin stuff. He would do a lot of...
the magazine.
Yes, the magazine.
Okay. Yes, I also used to. I still do, but I don't read it anymore. I used to buy it and read it regularly.
Man, in the 80s when they were doing all the Richard Corbin stuff like Den or God, I can't think of what the space one was with the white dude and the black woman, and they're on this like crazy like small people planet. Anyway,
Gulliver's Travels.
What was that?
Gulliver's Travels?
No.
I lost track of what was going on. I was reading chat.
Richard Corbin. Anyway, it doesn't matter. No. I was thinking about sci-fi and sex. Anyway, how about some comic books? You interested
comic books? Yeah, no.
So this would be the time on the show that everybody can leave. Don't forget to hit like.
Before we go on to comic books.
Below. Tell me what you think about some of this stuff. I do have an offer for people that come in the store that watch this show, but you got to watch through the reviews.
You got to tell us what the secret code is. Today's code is revealed in the first 2 minutes of the show.
I'll tell you right now. It's for a free copy. That's right. A free copy of a comic that's coming out tomorrow, Strike Force. There you go. It's got Blade. It's got Spider-Woman. She's back in her awesome costume. It looks like it's got Angela. And I don't know who. Oh, the Winter Soldier. So, Alma, if you ever watch this program, this is the book for you. You can get it free, and we'll go through the reviews, and I'll tell you how.
So, Julie Strain was associated with the movie, I think the second movie, the Heavy Metal did. And she was on the cover a lot in a cartoon form or something like that.
She was married to Eastman. Kevin Eastman, who bought Tundra and
bought a lot of her body as well.
So I heard she has dementia, or I didn't say I heard. I Wikipedia'd her.
I invented
And
the fact that she has dementia.
she does. She like fell, and I guess like they got a divorce or something, and she's having a hard time.
He dumped her because she fell.
I don't know the order of the situation. Don't quote me on that.
All right,
She's like messed up though, and that's sad.
it is sad, but I mean,
A long fall too. She was tall.
what do you mean? Oh, I didn't realize
I hope nobody else said that.
that she was tall.
No,
She would have made a great Wonder Woman. That's funny. I didn't even think about that.
Julie Strange. I don't know.
So there was a time and a place when I thought Charisma Carpenter would have made a good Wonder Woman.
She got
And
naked.
She did. She posed for Playboy, so she was completely out. Like when it came time to do a Wonder Woman, but I don't think she was still working when Wonder Woman was being cast anyway. Or if she is working, she's not in demand. So
She's no Wonder Woman.
she's not on the rise, as it were. Right? If anything, she's not on the rise. Oops. Sorry, Hitler.
Jesus.
I didn't mean to do that. That was
That's
an
all
accident.
right. It's just a Mein Kampf type of day.
Isn't it though? Every day's an angry German day. Nevertheless, she fits the type very well to have played Wonder Woman. So does Charisma Carpenter. But they needed to make those movies back then when those people were awesome.
Charisma Carpenter. Seriously?
She just has.
I mean, I like her, and I think she would have been fine, but
she's not the best actress. Look, the woman, Gail Godot, whatever her name is, she is a great Wonder Woman. Like, she did a great job.
She's yeah, I'm sure. I didn't watch it, but I think like
that's a good one, man. That was actually a good one. That's the only DC movie I've seen and liked in ages.
This was so I could show you some
probably
local comic books.
Who was asking about local comic books in chat? Who was doing that?
Diablo Hashcraft.
No, it was not.
Maybe it was.
It was either Sequential. It was either Sequential Geek, or it was.
There you go. Christmas Too Short.
Somebody else. I don't remember. Who was it? So these are local?
Yeah, someone came in and sold them. They're San Francisco, but we'll call it local.
Yeah, it's close enough. I mean, what are you, across the bay, 9 miles?
Yeah. So two really nice covers. Also, by the way, I think it's larryking@gmail.com. You can check him out on Instagram, and he does his own published comic book. You don't have to Kickstart it or Indiegogo it or wait. He'll send it right over after you buy it from him.
I'm going to link that because I don't know if Larry can, but what is it again?
Well, he can type it out. He knows how to. If he's
can he? He's allowed? I mean, does it?
larryking@gmail.com.
You were giving out his email address.
Well, he's put it out on Twitter. He wants to sell his books.
Okay. I mean, doesn't he have a website? Someplace or
please, nobody websites, please.
He just
anyway, I have not read these comics yet. They look like they're one shots. They are written and drawn by this Roderick Constance, and I really enjoyed what I was seeing. This is a color one. It's not fully like full, as far as like overly rendered, but it's got something going for it, and it doesn't look like everything's just like light boxed, or not even light boxed, but just
you mean tracing? From the internet. That's that what you mean by light boxing?
Yeah, that's really what I mean. But that's because I don't know the terminology. There's some good stuff here. Maybe I'm totally wrong.
Call it what it is, but can I see a page that has like a full page of art? I would like to see that.
You mean like something like that?
Yeah.
That's kind of cool.
That's San Francisco, isn't it?
You tell me.
I think it is.
Anyway, I haven't read it, so I don't know. But it does look good. Anyway, we have this. And then Dusk is in black and white. And it looks pretty good, too. I'm not too big a fan of gun comic books.
Yeah, I saw Sniper Rifle on the first page.
Maybe it's not all that. Anyway, they're one shots, so it's probably like character pieces. Oh, look, that's kind of cool. Anyway, local talent. Also, we have the rise of the Black Panthers.
Is this fiction or nonfiction?
Alan Clark. I think it's not fiction, so non-fiction.
I would say if that's a pig-faced man, it's definitely fiction.
Well, yeah, but I think like mouse.
It's an animal farm. This is an animal farm story.
Yeah, sure, why not?
Anthropomorphized animals filling the roles of the pigs are pretty bad, man.
There's
pigs
2 issues of this, and there you go. That's some local stuff. Yay. But I haven't read them, so I don't know if good or bad. But I did like that first one especially. And if you're a fan of black and white, some people are still. Black and white is a legitimate way to tell a comic book story. One of your favorite books is a black and white book. Isn't that not true?
It's very true.
Oh, wait, let me do
all
this.
of my favorite books are black and white.
There we go.
What was that? What was that sound? What a strange noise. Did anybody else hear that?
I had to turn on the fan. I'm sorry. It's so hot here this week.
Oh, that didn't sound like a fan going on, but whatever. It's okay if you want to lie to me. I don't mind.
Reviews, everybody.
Dun, dun, dun. Dun. Wait. I don't have to be on the screen for this part because I'm not relevant to this conversation about comics. I did not read these books. I will state that frankly. I did not read any of these comic books. What was the name of the show that you were toying with? I have an opinion about this thing that I heard about once. That's
right. Oh, not mukbang. Sorry, guys.
It is not mukbang time. I'm going to express my uneducated opinion about all of these things that I know nothing about.
Jeff and I came up with it. He said one and I said the other, but it was, I read something, this is what I think, or I heard about something, or I heard about that, this is what I think.
It's so stupid, but it's true. It's very appropriate for this day and age.
Yeah,
it's a satirical piece, though. It has to be a satirical piece.
Well, also, I had an idea. I think I told you this one. Him and I doing one called Devil's Advocate. Yeah. Have I told you about this?
I don't know.
All right, it's called Devil's Advocate.
Both argue against each other?
Where we both take a side. And,
it's called a debate.
And nobody knows who's playing the devil's advocate.
It's called a debate.
Yeah, Okay. But we have to try. But what you would have to try as a viewer is, or a listener, is try to figure out who actually believes what they're talking about.
It would be fun.
Sorry about that.
I think we should do it. You were talking about doing this with Jeff, right?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, no, we should make that a segment. That would be fun.
This camera is blowing today.
I got keep shaking it.
Don't
shake the baby.
Stop it.
Don't shake the baby.
Embarrassing me.
If I am able to embarrass you, I am so sorry.
Yeah, really. Oh, you're not really. I'm really talking about the camera. This camera.
Sorry. Yeah, it's good. It keeps going though, doesn't it?
I'm turning it off. Hold on a sec. All right.
Oh, hey, look.
There you go. What an appropriate.
Who's that guy? Who is that guy again?
That is one of my favorite writers all time. And it's Joe Kelly. He's a man of action. A man of action is also Joe Casey, who I'm a big fan of.
Okay.
He did Godland.
Yes, I was just thinking that.
Among other things.
Got it.
Hi.
House of X. All right, so it's a little high, like you say, and please take me off the camera.
No, let me fix it first.
Okay, you fix it first. I had a thing for Charisma Carpenter. I'm not gonna lie. Everybody on that show, she was the only one I liked. If you know what I mean.
All right, I'm starting all over, guys. Sorry.
Wonder
Keep talking
Woman.
about Charisma Carpenter. Everybody wants to hear.
She was a cutie pie.
She was.
I liked Willow's personality, but I didn't like to look at Willow. And sometimes she was a little too cutesy. You know, the whole like, hee hee, I'm adorable. She did that a lot. I'm not a big fan of that nowadays. Like, it bothers me. Like, I want to punch people that do that.
Was
But
she
I don't.
adorable though?
Yeah, she was always written to be just so incredibly adorable and sympathetic.
Well, Oz left her, of course.
Yeah, that's true. And
Oz made the right decision, I think.
I'm not going to make any more changes to my personality. I've already decided this. I am rigidly stuck in my ways.
All right. Well, this is how it's going to be until we can figure out a better way to really do this.
That banner, though, is it
Well,
covering any screen?
Doubtful. No, not really. So we got that going for us. House of X number 5. We are almost done, guys. We have Powers of X or Powers of 10 number 5 coming out tomorrow, and then 2 weeks in a row of these 2 books, and then we will be done.
No,
also, just to let
we
you
won't
know,
be done. We will not be done. It will live in our hearts forever.
Right.
And then the trade will come out.
And then the trade will come out. It'll be a hardcover that'll cost $60.
Whoa, really?
Really?
How many issues?
All of them, I think.
Which is 10?
Yeah.
That's
there are places online, if you can believe this, that are saying that they would sell it for $25 if you pre-ordered it now.
That means they're getting it for less, but is it a hardcover?
Yeah.
$60 for hardcover is a lot, but that's probably worth it. That's probably worth it.
Wait till awesome collections of older materials come out.
Awesome collections of older materials come out.
Sorry, yeah. Old reprints.
Okay.
Reprint. They're gonna be like they were 40, and now I think they're gonna be like they're gonna try and push them up to like 45.
Oh, you're saying that our money's worthless. No big deal.
So just remember that.
Ow.
I really think, especially when you're reading something that's disposable, remember that. Especially when you're buying the collections.
Disposable, though?
Yeah.
What's disposable?
Well, theoretically, comic books are disposable. You only save them because you love them and want to go back.
That's why they print them on acid-free paper.
Well, it's true. That was because we complained. They thought it'd be better. But the thing is Alterna, they do newsprint, and they're doing very well.
We did it to ourselves. We made all these demands.
All right, there you go. Capital F has he said it. Right there.
Gold balls.
Gold balls. So, Gold balls, lamest character ever until this issue. And not only that, the second lamest character, this Eve character, I can't remember what she's called really. She can do anything. Sorry.
What's this?
There you go. Anyway, it's really cool. The X-Men have died in previous issue, and this is how we find out they deal with this. They have a scene that starts, or this scene is just how the first issue started, if you remember correctly.
Hey, buddy, I'm really sorry, but can you look at the camera and see what you're showing us?
Well, I know.
Can you just move the? No, don't. You don't have to move the camera. Just pull the easel a little bit closer to the camera, and then I think we could see the top, because the bottom is not as interesting as the top.
All right, very good.
We couldn't see Professor X's head at all.
Nah, everybody's seen that image already anyway.
Well, what are you? Come on, man.
So there you go. So this answers a lot of questions about what happened to the characters that died. I'm not, everybody loved that issue. I think this is really cool. It gave a purpose for characters that previously had no purpose and actually had kind of a lame power set, or a power set that was so strong that you couldn't see how they could exist within the Marvel U. And I'm talking about those two characters, Gold Balls and Eve Bell.
So Gold Balls is super powerful?
Gold Balls. So we found out that his balls are actually eggs.
You mean like huevos? So the Spanish got it right.
Huh?
Huevos, amigo.
Huevos. A maggot, lamest character in the X-Men. I agree. Even still, Hickman, if he's going to use somebody, he's going to try and rehabilitate them as best as possible, or maybe even give them a purpose they maybe never had. So he's been doing a really good job for the most part. He did it with Moira, with the Many Lives thing. He's done it with Gold Balls here and the rest, even Proteus. You're like, well, what are they going to do about Proteus? I got to admit, there are some things in this book I haven't read. This is the first one where I didn't read a lot of the crazy Hickman,
Too many words.
Well, it's been a busy week. I'm sorry. But I did read some of the stuff about how Proteus, who is Moira's son, who is a mutant who can change reality, but in doing so has to use up the human shell he inhabits. And he doesn't have a body anymore. But they have an answer around that too in this, and it's really cool, and it utilizes their synergy within these mutants, and that's something that has never really been done in these comic books before. And bravo to Hickman, I love it. I remember, I think somebody in chat, I remember said something about not wanting to read it anymore after the Mr. Sinister being kind of flamboyant and flighty. But I love this issue. The ending was great. It had a big convergence of characters. Again, I don't want to ruin it for anybody that hasn't read it yet, but art's pretty good. Liked it a lot. This is an excellent series. We've got reprints of previous issues we've sold out of. Just to let you know, House of X, except for this one issue, and it's because someone got an alternate cover instead, didn't need this one. This is sold out otherwise. And we are upping this. Jonathan Hickman said that his orders for number 5 were bigger than his number 1 issues. And that's amazing.
That says a lot.
Not only that, it's number 5 of 6. Think about it that way. Like it was 5 of 8 for 3 of 8 or 4 of 8 for Batman White Knight. There's a little bit more time to grow and breathe in that one. But this is almost over. And like you said, there's going to be a trade. It's going to be $60. And if you wanted to wait, but you don't want to wait because I want to talk to you about this. And everybody in here wants to talk about this. And I have a line of people coming in to get this book. And I like it a lot. There you go. There you go. I still liked it. The Mr. Sinister was kind of reminiscent of the Secret Wars. We've come to that conclusion here at the store. I think I've seen other people write about it. So at least it plays true to something he's written previously. And, when it's like a VHS or a cassette tape, the more you use it or the more you record over it, the worse or maybe,
gets worn out.
Retarded. I'm going to use that word.
I love you right now.
That will happen, I think that's a proper use for the word there.
Oh, yeah.
I'm using it to talk about an object. Anyhow, if anybody has mixed tapes that they have that they can't use or just cassette tapes that they don't want, you can send them to 2026 Shattuck Avenue at Fantastic Comics, Berkeley, California, 94704, and I'd be happy to review your mixed tapes.
Someone's got a tape player.
I have a tape player in my car. Yeah. It didn't get ruined in the wreck, and I'm still listening to tapes. I can't wait.
Oh, there's definitely trying to bring it back.
Who could that be? What's going on here?
I don't have a clue who's going on here.
Did you leave the door open? Oh, okay. So Lex Luthor, Year of the Villain, it was a one-shot. This Lex Luthor goes and befriends a young Lex Luthor and travels to different worlds. Here's this Lex Luthor. There's Lex Luthor's drunk dad, just like his drunk dad, and so on and so forth. And they go on a tour of all the different Lex Luthors and basically kill them off. I like this. It was pretty good. It didn't tell me anything new that was really all that important, except at the very end, which is funny because it's very much like Proteus in House of X that just happened. This one right here. Funny that they came out around the same day. Jason Latour does the writing, and Larry, if you're still in here, Brian Hitch does the artwork. Yes, there you go, capital F. Great Hitch artwork. there's not a whole lot of action. It's a lot of talking and a lot of seeing of what Lex Luthor could or couldn't become. Oh, here he is. He's like a Batman. Lex Luthor's a Batman, and then there's a Green Martian Superman, I guess. It was all right. It was not my favorite Year of the Villain. I think my favorite was either the Riddler or the Sinister, both by Mark Russell. Jason Latour, who does the artwork for Southern Bastards, I really wish. It's just a one shot. I really wish we could get the rest of Southern Bastards. All right, G.I. Joe. This is a brand new #1. It's an all new G.I. Joe.
Is that a Eugene
It's like
sighting?
those. Say, what was that?
Is that a Eugene sighting?
Yeah. We might have mukbang after all.
Intent.
So, G.I. Joe, it's like a G.I. Joe of today, those same characters today, along with some new characters. Duke and Scarlet are wanted criminals as Cobra is rising in America, and we're following this dude here. I was talking earlier that, when I kind of wanted to write, one of the things, in introducing a character of color, or maybe a different gender, or maybe, a different sexual persuasion, is sometimes the story you want to tell, and, you do the research and want to do that. Other times you just throw it in. I don't know if that happened here or not, but this gentleman here has a big old conversation. So he sees Duke die. Oh my gosh, Duke is dead. That was a pretty cool scene. And he goes over to the wastebasket that Duke ran by and picks up this thumb drive and looks at it. And as he does, Scarlet comes in, takes the thumb drive, and he has this, this big conversation with her about, how he lost his family. And then 2 weeks ago, his boyfriend left him. That's where it felt a little funny. Other than that, I would really like to see his boyfriend actually end up being Cobra, because towards the end of the story, we find out that they are really in power in America. It was an okay book. I think I might actually take a look at it, but the art wasn't very good, and some of the portrayal of the characters were kind of stupid too. Or Roadblock, Roadblock's played by The Rock in the movies, if I do believe, and he's like, wasn't he the Cajun dude who had like a Gatling gun or something? Anyway, that's me not knowing anything about armor, any kind of guns and stuff like that. It'd be like if I wrote G.I. Joe.
Go Joe.
Go Joe. Yo Joe. He shoots somebody, kills somebody, blood splatters on him, and he's like, ooh. And it's kind of stupid.
What did he think was going to happen?
I know, exactly, dude. You're Roadblock. You're like a badass guy. What it is like they're kind of like civilians getting drafted into this. Here we have Inferior 5. This is written and co-written Jeff Lemire and Keith Giffen. Keith Giffen's also doing the art, and the backup story, which is a Peacemaker story, is drawn by Jeff Lemire. And I have no interest in the Inferior 5 from before at all. I think it was a Kirby thing. I'm not quite sure. Sorry. It was definitely DC, obviously DC. This takes place after The Invasion, which was a series that was in like the 90s. Todd McFarlane did the artwork, and these guys, the Dominators, basically took over Earth. And it was a 3-issue series that was really thick, and it's pretty memorable for everybody that read it. It's not necessarily the greatest thing that ever came, but that's the premise that we're following here. So we follow this kid Justin, not this kid. We're being introduced to this dude with the X. This is Keith Giffen doing the art. He has a very Kirby quality. Again, I think that was who did the original Inferior 5. There is a lot of interior monologue text as far as what Justin's been going through, and I hope I got the name right because it's just a human name. Anyway, this is a real weird scene that they're being placed in. This is a commercial. That's another ad, but here we have the mother telling him, look, your father died. We couldn't stay in Metropolis. This is where he moved, and it's like somewhere Arizona. Meanwhile, the Dominators are having this conversation, supposedly about them. And then we're introduced to some more characters. And then there's the Peacemaker story in the back, which is playing a looser role with the main story that's going on. This is going to be a 12-issue maxi series, and I thought that the characterization and the very little plot that we got overall was intriguing enough for me to want to read the second issue. Of course, I'm a Keith Giffen and a Jeff Lemire fan. This is like one of my favorites from today, mixing with one of my favorites from the 80s and 90s. And for them to be doing this book together, it's pretty awesome. And
It's like the handoff, huh?
Say, what was that?
A little bit of a handoff.
Yeah, sure. Why not?
Why not?
Not only that, anytime you can get some Jeff Lemire artwork, spoiler. Look at
He did Spider-Man? What?
That'd be pretty cool. Look at that page with the ribbon face. And it's like part background, backstory of what's going on. And here he was like interrogating this Dominator. Anyway, like I said, it was a pretty good story. I liked it a lot. If you're a DC fan, and especially if you're a fan of something from pre-New 52, this is definitely a book for you. I finally read Amazing Spider-Man from a couple weeks ago, the one that comes out tomorrow. Oh, we might talk about that.
Why?
Because we have previews to go. Anyway, this was an okay issue. I thought there is a page in here. What was I saying? That G.I. Joe was bad? There's a panel in here, I should say. Oh, that's it.
What is that little short kid doing playing the Spider-Man? Did anybody else see that?
Look at Mary Jane. Let me see if this will focus.
Having trouble. There she is.
Look at that face.
I don't see a face. I see a slash for. I'm not sure if that's supposed to be her eye or her mouth. I can't.
That panel is one of the most hack panels. I mean, seriously? I mean, what? And I mean, they didn't get through it. Anyway, it's a whole story about MJ going to go to a Hollywood movie shoot, and she's leaving town. And Pete and her have been getting on pretty good. And he's all, I'll be right back. I just got to do this one thing. And she's like, yeah, we know how that's going to go. By the way, isn't this a really funky cover? I like it.
Yeah, you talked about it last week. I agree. He looks like his hips have definitely been dislocated.
I mean, that's where you go when you when he makes something crazy. Anyway,
whatever. He's Spider-Man, dude. He can do whatever he wants.
I liked the story, and it was pretty good. I'm gonna spoil this for you. He doesn't make it. She knew. She was okay with it.
What do you mean he didn't make it to?
I worry that Peter and Mary Jane aren't going to really get together. It's not so much that I care that they get together. I can only imagine what the fans are going to say. And
why does he have to get somewhere by a certain time? Is it because she said he had to?
Well, she has a plane flight.
Okay.
He was going to take her to the airport,
yeah,
and she had to get one of his ex-girlfriends to take her, Carly.
That's better than I was hoping, at least.
But anyway, there you go. I want to look at that. There you go. Read that.
I read it already.
Oh, you did? Okay, very good. All right, everybody. Steeple number 1. This is a Dark Horse. I don't know what I don't think it's an ongoing.
Is that a lady priest?
Yeah. So this is in London.
What enlightened denomination is that?
I would assume they're still like Catholics because.
No.
You don't think so?
I don't think you can be a lady priest in the Catholic Church. I don't think
anyway,
so.
This dude's coming back from coming outside and he's all beaten up. Oh wait, he's all beaten up. And she's coming to town that has a really bad reputation. And on the way, her car blows up. She hitches a ride with this purple-haired chick, and she goes, and she's going to be like the curate or whatever for this place. And so I guess she's still somewhat ordained or something like that, or is on her way to being that way. She makes friends with that woman in town and finds out that there are there's some things going on that aren't so well. We find out more. Anyway, it's an okay book. It's cute. It's drawn well. If you enjoy this art style, it's different, and I really appreciated that. Oh yeah, she does get involved with fighting this thing. Look at that guy with the eye. It's kind of like the Orb from Marvel Comics. Anyway, so she gets involved and she helps save a male priest. That should send people over the edge even more. Anyway, it was a cheap shot from behind with an object, and she broke it. So it's not totally, her name's not Mary. Anyway, it was pretty good. I liked it. It was cute, and like I said, I'd probably read the second issue. It's if you're like mired in reading superhero comics, or if you're mired in reading Image comics that are just either outer space, fantasy, or horror. I know, what else more is there? This is a really cool book, a palate cleanser at the very least. J.J. Abrams, Sarah Pichelli, and Dave Stewart on coloring do Spider-Man, which is a 5-issue miniseries written by J.J. Oh, I already said all that, right? Did I say J.J. Abrams? And
they look like they're dancing.
Jesus. Yeah, no, it looks like she's slipping off his leg. Yeah.
Like,
you know what it is? He's doing the Keanu Reeves.
His fingers look funny.
Sure he won't get me too'd as long as he doesn't touch her. She's touching him.
Don't you touch her. She's a white lady. Her.
So there you go. I like this book. This is weird. This is what if Mary Jane Peter got married. This first part of this book here, there's this really horrible scene. New York is really messed up. And obviously, Spider-Man with this effed up arm is the only person that can fight these things.
Does he have quick healing?
I would assume he has quicker healing, but there have been many issues where he's had a sprained shoulder. And it's gone, like I said, it's gone on for a couple issues.
Yeah.
Especially as comic books are decompressed, you have to make that one story longer over many issues. So if I was shot in the side, it probably wouldn't heal until the second story arc.
Her hips look funny too.
Yeah.
There's something about that's weird looking.
It's a weird cover. There was other cover. 12 years later. What? Something happened and it's 12 years later? What could have happened? I'm not going to tell you.
How old were they in that picture?
Let's look at that precocious kid being beat. This guy right here. Looking at this bully situation. I hate bully situations. And then he throws him through this window right here, or this door, and he gets sent to the principal's office. And his father, Peter, has to come and bail him out, basically. And Peter has look at his hook for a hand that he has here. I really enjoyed the conversation between those two characters there. There's a lot of pain and suffering that is or isn't being addressed. And Aunt May is also a character later on. There is, and it's a good enough hook at the end for me to want to. That would have got. That's true. But maybe Peter's job is so important that his kid can't get arrested. So I'm not quite sure what he does yet. I like the end. The reveal was cool. The kid doesn't know that he's really strong. So it's not like he's abusing spider powers. I enjoyed it. Anyway, there you go.
I stand by my comments of the cover.
This is, just get the other cover. Inside, it looked really good. Sarah Pichelli is a good artist. All right, we're in the previews part of the show, everybody.
Previews?
Yeah.
And you're starting with Alterna. I do like.
Let me take this banner down. All right, very good. Gods and Gears. It's a 4-issue miniseries from Alterna Comics. Even if you hate it, it only cost $1.50.
Do they do any ongoing series?
Scrimshaw comes out this week. It is a series of mini-series that connect. I don't know how long it's going to go on for, but given, I don't know. They have and Larry King worked on it. Came out on a Wednesday, which is an anthology that comes out.
That doesn't
So,
count.
all right, well, fine. And that's $1.99 too.
Yeah.
Yeah, there you go. So
Ongoing
suck
series.
on it.
They don't have one, is what you're saying.
Yeah, it doesn't count. We're not going to count the anthology right now.
Why would you? It's
I know
not an
what you're
ongoing series.
Well, the thing is that creators own their own comics at Alterna. Alterna is helping in the publishing and, you know, distributing and all that other stuff. And there are some things that, anyway, it doesn't matter. I don't know the ins and outs. Someday I'll talk to Peter on the show. Or
just a question. I was just curious. I'm sorry that I brought it up.
Well, the beauty is like, let's say Gods and Gears is really popular in some other company, like maybe Aftershock. And then, and you might remember that one time I talked about Aftershock. They came in and we had conversation with them about, you know, comic books and the industry. And I kind of told them about Alterna and how they were doing $1.50 newsprint paper comics. And those guys kind of laughed. And, you know, they don't sell better than Black Crown. Okay. Alterna's doing well. So this is sparse in art, but I think it was done for effect and very well. It's cool. I like what I read. Not a whole lot of story for the most part, but I wasn't quite at the end. Basically, this dude gets lost in this time rift. And this guy or a girl, I don't know. This person, these people meet each other when this person falls to Earth. Our Earth, I have no idea, but that
like an angel.
Well, it's more like a potato. How do potatoes fall? So there you go. You buy this book. You come into this store and you buy this book, and you get Strike Force for free. Written by Teenie Howard with Herman Peralta on artwork and Jordi Belair. That is a murderer's row of creators.
I like that cover.
Yeah, that's a pretty cool cover. I dig it too.
That's nice.
Kick ass. And he's been dealing with a lot of vampires lately. And, you know, Angela, she seems like an overpowered character for this group, but whatever.
Which one's Angela?
She's this one.
The flying angel one?
Angela is an Asgardian. She is Thor's sister, but her first appearance was in Neil Gaiman's written Spawn issue. Oh God, I'm gonna say issue 7. I can't remember, guys. Sorry. That's bad that I can't remember that, but I'm gonna guess.
I remember the cover. I don't remember the number, but I do remember the cover.
Yeah, she's pretty sweet. Anyway, vampires, guys, they're back.
Yay. And, does that mean we're gonna get some Blade movies?
I think they may have said something. The question whether, oh my God, that's kind
Wesley
of
Snipes. Come on.
Oh, is that Black Panther also?
Bring him back.
Anyway, it might be good, but you can get it for free if you buy this $1.50 comic book, which you already know looks really good. There's your potato scene, by the way.
Splat.
Yeah, it was pretty good. I didn't read all of it. I enjoyed what I read. There just wasn't. I didn't get to everything yet. Anyway, there you go. All right, everybody. We're still doing previews. We have Amazing Spider-Man.
Spawn 9. I'm sorry, but it was Spawn 9.
It was Spawn number 9. Damn. Stupid me. That's embarrassing. That's really bad. Here we go, everybody. Amazing Spider-Man number 30. Finally, Amazing Spider-Man crosses over with the Absolute Carnage miniseries that's going on right now. I know you've been looking forward to it. Spider-Man hasn't been selling. Oh, that's that bad guy that's been terrorizing Spider-Man and threatening his wife, but only from afar. So at least we get some continuation of that before we get, Norman Osborn. This looks like a good issue. It's a good thing I got it on my pull list because it hasn't been selling so well and I've been lowering it. So you better hurry up and come in and get that if you care. All right. Here's some independent work. Margot, the Intergalactic Trash Collector. I'm very happy that we're finally seeing some women in the custodial fields.
Yes, I was just thinking of how
You don't need to be a scientist.
Look at
You
that.
don't need to be you don't need to be I've told this girl.
man.
I mean, if she's in, she's already heard this bullshit. You don't need to be a number one. You can just work on a trash. No, anyway.
That's where most of us are going to work.
This looks actually pretty good, and it reminds me of Matt Howarth. If anybody knows of Matt Howarth, that's like Savage Henry, I think is the name of that comic book. And he's like an underground or at least independent artist from the 90s. And he's kind of blocky. I like this art a lot, and it's actually pleasing. And I hope it's funny as far as the comic book is concerned. But it's out tomorrow.
It looks like it's expected to be funny.
Yeah, and it's a mini series, so you don't have to really invest a whole lot of time in it. But Margot, the Intergalactic Trash Collector, comes out tomorrow. Get it at a comic store near you.
Nice.
There was a Power Pack one shot there that came out that Louise Simonson, I think it was Louise Simonson and June Brigman, I think, again, the original artist and writer and artist of that book came back and did like an anniversary. See, they're doing their 80 years. You may remember that Marvel had their 1000th issue, whatever that means.
Mm-hmm.
There's actually going to be a 1001st issue also.
No, of course.
Anyway, here we have Chris Claremont coming back. They got the mothballs off Chris so that he can come back and write a New Mutants issue with art by Bill Sienkiewicz. He somehow had enough time to not talk smack and draw pictures of shitty Republicans to do this issue. And I, for one, applaud him. I can't wait to read this New Mutants because this is one of the best times in comic history ever. And the abstract art. All right, so Brian Kelly Williams, was older than us in high school. He was actually out of high school. He would drive us to the comic store. I'd get Miracle Man and maybe like an X-Men or a Spider-Man. And he'd get like, because he had a job, like $30 worth of comics, which was like everything Marvel. And we'd go over to his house, read his comics. I'd talk smack on his books. And he'd be like, Bill Sienkiewicz, this guy looks like my 4-year-old sister could draw better than him. But Bill Sienkiewicz is a real artist. And I mean, just the fact that he slums it with us at any time, we should thank our blessings and just vote the way he does, because you know what? That's what we need. If I can get more Bill Sienkiewicz, amen.
Oh, I get it.
All the way.
That's good, actually. I like that argument. Just vote the same way he does, so he'll get his way, so he'll do more work.
Fucking A, man.
Yeah.
Anyway, great art. Oh, I didn't mean to curse. Sorry. Safe sex. It's actually SFSX anyway, this is an image
on
comment.
Twitter. Yeah,
when I'm ordering it. It's like that guy who did Bottom Feeders, if you remember when we talked about that. This is written by some pervert. I don't know who it is. They probably don't deserve a job in comics. The art looks okay, but oh my god, this is YouTube.
Wow, that was mature.
Oh, what is this? An issue of Saga? Oh my god. Anyway, like I said, some pervert writes this, and some pervert gets to draw it. I always ask when Tina Horn and Michael Dowling, so we can look into them later. Oh my god, it's a sex party. Oh my gosh, like the two girls kissing in the front. I mean, the two people kissing on the front. Isn't rude enough for normal people. Just open the first page.
Yeah. Can you take it off camera and then flip to the back and maybe give us some of the interior that's not completely perved out?
I think this whole book is supposed to be.
Just try.
All right, just think, man. Look, she enters the world of the dirty mind, and it's fists. I don't
Is this
care.
like the Matrix version? Like you get the fancy
And the art
version?
was, here you go. Here's some art. Look, she's overlooking that cliff. She looks like a dumpy broad too, so maybe she's like entering this world that she doesn't know if. Anyway, I don't know what it's about, but there you go. There's some porn in my store that I didn't realize I was ordering. This should be hot. This should be all right. So I've had customers ask, like, maybe on the show you might talk about some things that might be hot in the store.
What do they mean by hot?
You know, something that like Comic Tom 101 might talk about that might be big. Here you go, right here, first print, Safe Sex #1, $3.99. This might be the thing that you can get a $20 purchase on eBay a week later, for all I know. If I was going to bet on any one book, this would either this or the Spider-Man would be it, at least in this store.
Okay, I get you.
Oh, hey, remember how I told you Chris Claremont was dragged out? The guy in the mothballs?
Nah, I never heard of them.
Okay, anyway, this Avengers Unleashed is written by Roger Stern, another guy who was dusted off. And Ron Lim, although he still somewhat continuously works, overall he hasn't really done a whole lot of interiors. He's doing this issue of Avengers. Ron Lim is more of a Silver Surfer artist, but his style definitely matches the era that they're going for, the late 80s, early 90s. Roger Stern was often the writer on John Byrne, like Avengers books and Captain America and stuff like that. One of my favorite Captain Americas is with Baron Blood, and John Byrne does the art. It's a 2-issue story. It's like 232, 233, something like that. You should hunt those down. Those are going to be expensive someday. Anything John Byrne from those days, 80s. Marvel team up with Chris Claremont. Uncanny X-Men goes without saying. You know, you can buy an expensive book from today, or you can get one from yesteryear, but the yesteryear ones, especially if the condition is better, those are like gold right now. Oh, I mean, yeah, we don't want to, not Bitcoin, just gold. Roger Stern did the best Avengers arc, Under Siege. Wow, yeah, Under Siege. Here we go, Captain Marvel, the real Captain Marvel right there. Yeah. I was very curious. I thought it was very curious that they made Carol Danvers the face of their company. They had a Captain Marvel here, although it's true she didn't have that name at the time. Next Wave by Warren Ellis, I think she had something else. And she's recycled a bunch, or she cycled through a bunch of names also. But I don't know. Marvel obviously was going for diversity, whatever that means. They were trying to like up their game, I should say. And they did it by getting a whole bunch of characters. So Ms. Marvel became Captain Marvel. And instead of this Captain Marvel, which actually is somewhat beloved by Marvel fans, this was the obvious choice. And you wouldn't have had to screw with anything. But then you make Ms. Marvel, who is not Carol Danvers, and I never call Carol Danvers Captain Marvel. She's always still just Ms. Marvel to me. Well, who's that other one? I don't care. I don't care.
Don't know.
So there you go. If you want a classic Avengers style issue, Larry King likes the Roger Stern stuff, and as far as I'm concerned, he's a classic. Look at him. We're getting Thor when he had a blonde beard. This is a classic team, yeah, and it's got Loki, so we know Bruja's going to get it. And last but not least, we have Harleen. This might be a book that might be a big deal. I'm not sure. I didn't order it too heavy, although I did get more than I normally get of Harley Quinn.
That's a good cover, man.
It is a good cover. I only brought the one. There is another cover. We all know Fantinuum got it pulled for him. This is, I'm going to butcher the name, Stefan Cedric. He does really, really sexy women.
Well, then show us one.
And it's kind of computery, too.
Well, I haven't seen one yet.
Well, he's drawing Harley Quinn, and she's like, this is going to be the story of her and how she becomes Harley Quinn. So she's just a stupid psychiatrist that's getting mind raped by the Joker. I'm assuming that's what this is going to be about. This is the Black Label line, so it can get a little bit more adult. I hear you might get to see her privates. That's not true. That's not true at all. No privates.
I'm going to listen to the pronunciation. I'll be gone for a minute.
Of privates. Anyway, there you go. Harleen by Stefan Sedgwick. He's done books like Swing with his wife. Oh God, I can't remember what the other name of it. He's been doing some DC work. Anyway, this isn't as overly sexualized as he normally does, but that's kind of typical of his stuff right here. So there we go. I met this guy. He's crazy. Anyway, Harleen Quinn. Did you get that? Whoa.
Ouch.
That was
a terrible recording, but it sounds like a really tinny version of Sage.
What are you talking about?
The name Sedgwick.
Oh, I see. Oh, I was the first part I was having a problem with, I thought.
Stefan?
I thought I was doing that okay.
Well, whatever. It's Croatian. I just looked it up.
All right. Very good. Doing those kink comics. Yeah. Hawkins. That guy. All right. So I have this one gentleman who didn't make. Rewind. I have this one customer that comes in and they used to work at Image, but don't anymore. But doesn't anymore. And anytime Mr. Sedgwick's name gets brought up, I always say, they're pretty kinky over there at Top Cow, aren't they? And he kind of like, I don't know anything. They swing, don't they, over there? Oh yeah, that's the name of that one. I can't remember the other name he does with his wife, but it's all like kink stuff over at Top Cow. So yeah, I think they're all swingers. That's probably down San Diego way. I bet they're all really, because Mark Silvestri is Top Cow. He's a good-looking guy. I mean, he's older now, but I bet those were all fairly good-looking people getting on that swinging action, probably. So, Croatians are pretty good-looking. Sometimes.
Okay, yeah, okay.
Yeah, all right.
Let's definitely just
Harley Quinn. We used to call her the Deadpool of DC, or in other words, Bugs Bunny.
Unstoppable.
Just like, yeah, kind of that way. She fits any role you need if
Charmed.
It's to be wacky, you know.
Okay. You turned that fan on again? Must be hot there.
No, I turned it off now.
Oh,
let me do this. Hold on a second. Oh, sorry. Stop cam.
I still like that cover. I think that's a pretty good looking piece of face.
I assume towards the end of the book she goes really crazy. Oh yeah, look through his Twitter, Hawkins' Twitter. He is a swinger.
He's just like,
he had a heart attack. Oh my goodness gracious. Oh, he's okay. Very good. Whatever. I mean, if I can propagate the idea that Mark Silvestri is a swinger, I can do that. It's no problem. Nobody cares what I have to say. I smoked pot with Rick Remender. That's pretty cool. That's back when he did a Blackheart Billy with John Burns' kid. What's that guy's name?
Jason Bourne?
No. John Byrne. Back to Byrne always.
Yeah, I know.
Kieran Dwyer. Thank you very much. Anyway, there you go. That was back in the Comic Relief days. That was a quite the shesh.
Get out of here.
You can follow me down here on Filthy Burger at Instagram. If you really have to see what I have to say on Twitter, it's at Big Blue Ewell. I also do a podcast with ATN over there, talking about science fiction and maybe someday fantasy books. It's only been fantasy, actually. And right now we're in the beginning stages of working on one called Gardens of the Moon, which is the first part of the Malazan Book of the Fallen, which is a 10-part epic, something I've never, ever done before until I did that time. But then that's still the only time.
Just that one time, right?
That one time. It was like,
what's the thing that you haven't done before except for that one time, though?
Well, I read the George R.R. Martin books, but overall, I've read trilogies that kind of connect with other trilogies, but not really, one continuous story.
Well, there aren't that many, right? How many are there? I can count like 5 series like that, 10-book series, 12-book series.
Well, yeah, we've all read at least the first. You and I and Phil, who works on the show with us, we all have at least read the first of those kind of books. Although I haven't read the Robert Jordan ever.
No, me either.
Don't think I will.
No, me either.
I'll just wait for that to be. It's a stepson. That's true.
The TV show is coming, so we'll just.
But
I'm just gonna watch that.
Kieran Dwyer is a pretty good artist. He wasn't exciting, but he was very good. Whatever. Blackheart Billy though was crap. So anybody that likes that is wrong. You can fight about that. I don't have a problem. Come on down to the store, and if you buy that Alterna book, you can get that Marvel book, Strike Force. That's a
90s
that's a really bad game. Gods and Gears will get you Strike Force. So I already know I have some Alterna fans. If they are in the chat and they're here in the store, then they can get Strike Force, which is a wrestling group. That's Tito Santana and come on, Nathan, you don't know?
What? Come on. I am not the guy. I am not that
Tito
guy.
Santana and
I only know one Santana. There's only one.
Essence. Don't you remember that guy? And he'd come out and Rick Martel. Thank you very much again. Anyway, that's pretty much the end of the show, everybody. We'll probably talk for like another minute or two, but thanks for joining us. It was awesome seeing people that aren't always in the show, in the chat.
It's better to see them than the people who are always here.
And like I said, man,
they're always here.
No. It was just good because, it gets a little dynamic going and maybe we can, I don't know, maybe, oh, wait. Let me get a banner up for everybody. Hold
Yikes. Yes, chips. What are they made out of? Yes?
Yes, it's.
So if you eat them, you can be a sycophant also?
Yeah.
Do you like them? Yes. You want me to like them, right? Yes, I definitely like them.
All right. This is the, for anybody that's still with us,
Mukbang.
this is the part of the show where I become a monkey for y'all. And for Eugene, because
you
really
you like it. Secretly,
I like that we have a go-to, which is nice because we don't always have a CGC. Don't forget, anybody that is looking back on the show and wants to know. Oh, I didn't even realize that you haven't even been on screen.
I don't mind, man. I'm fine with that.
Flash 123. We got back at a 5.5.
Higher.
My brother was half. Higher.
There we go.
Oh,
Look
man,
at that.
it's going back to me. Conf again. Jesus. All right. Anyway, there you go.
So your brother, we need to start keeping track, though. Your brother has been a total of 0.5 off on the 2 books that we have.
Well, I mean, we pretty much are keeping track of it right now.
Well, this should not be the record of that.
So I've listened to a lot of podcasts before and seen a lot of shows like this before, and eventually, if you get enough people, they go that follow and care, and like they go back and rewatch and listen to everything.
Yeah,
they will do things like catalog Oh, I've noticed that Yule says like a lot.
And they'll
And they'll
catch them
go
all.
and they'll count, like, how many freaking likes you. That's how big we got to get. Because
Okay.
I don't know
Okay.
about this comic book bullshit.
All right. So as far as like keeping track of your brother's record, we need to hear about his predictions before you get them in the mail.
Well, they're written right here already.
That doesn't count. That doesn't count. You know what I mean? You can fudge that so hard, it's not even
Why would
funny.
you do that? That doesn't make sense.
Yes,
I
it
mean,
does.
No.
It makes perfect sense. People's
I got
motivations.
2 favorite superheroes. It's Spider-Man and Superman. They wouldn't do that. What would Superman do, baby? What would Superman do?
Superman in reality or in Superman world?
Period. Well, in the Superman world, then I guess.
Okay, because in reality he would be a
And not this new
Piece of
52 and Rebirth bullshit either. And he wouldn't let his dad just take his kid, Bendis. So, sorry. Get on with the muck.
the real Superman would be a pain in the ass.
All right, everybody. We've got Yes Chips. This is a roasted potato. So what could go wrong? It's open already. That's what could go wrong.
Definitely don't eat that.
This is the part of the show where I demean myself in front of you.
It's not really demeaning.
I'm gonna one more step in the demeaning myself pool. I'm sticking it in I'm sticking it in the.
This could get demeaning. This could get demeaning.
The Patreon pool.
Oh yeah.
We have submitted our profile or whatever to them.
It's like dating. It's just like dating. You're like, for ladies around 40.
Well, I like to think I made a legitimate argument for people to give us any amount of money.
What was the argument?
Just to continue this show. Yeah. And I also am going to use it to call out to former customers that have a couple bucks. It's also, to get people to pay attention to where we have a show. And any little thing helps. And, when we need a microphone or we want to experiment with something like
definitely to pay for hardware.
StreamYard. Yeah. Or, if it really blows up and if I had 1,000 people giving me $1 a month that were former customers, that would be awesome. And that would really help my store out quite a bit. So it's it's twofold. So I wrote, well, I'm holding this in my hand. It is
hollow. Yeah.
Oh,
square peg round hole, everybody. There it is.
Pyrulines, those things.
Yeah, they're great.
Jill, you got to get those again. I like those.
They're delicious.
This looks like a square one.
Yeah, it does.
All right, it's a open roasted potato chip. Yes,
go ahead, man. So what you're saying though is that you have applied for a Patreon account and they have to approve it. And I find that to be a strange notion that they have to approve it, but because I mean, obviously they don't know how to handle their money. Their company's going, well, let's just be honest, they're in trouble at the moment. So what moral high ground do they have to tell you whether or not you can access their website?
I don't know. I could say something flippant and mention Comicsgate.
They don't seem to have any standards as far as I'm aware. I mean, everybody's got a
not only do they have
Patreon.
Standards, not only do they have standards, but
they do.
But
are you sure?
Yeah, they've totally told people
you are too X, Y, or Z to have a Patreon.
All right. We've talked about this person before, and I've never really used names, but I've paid attention to who people are on the internet. And
do I know who it is?
I don't think so. So there's this guy named Jeremy at
yeah, I know who he is.
You know who that guy is?
Yeah.
He loves his dog. I'm okay with that. He likes guns. I'm not so okay with that. But
I'm
that's
great
me.
With it. Bang bang.
Yeah, there we go. He likes Magic the Gathering, and he has a really big following and a YouTube channel. And he kind of talks smack about this cosplayer who has a Patreon and sends, pictures to people that she, and I mean, it's totally a legitimate thing as far as needing money to make costumes so that you can have quality pictures taken.
Yeah,
Not just something from your freaking cell phone or anything like that.
Sure.
High quality,
Very.
looking really good,
Must
and
be rough.
that's really what we're getting at. I mean, hey, I love Magic the Gathering, and you know what? I really like Liliandra, especially when she's wearing that, and whatnot. And she's got people, and then that's kind of what he was talking about. And I think it was Patreon said, you know what, you can get the F out of here. And they locked him out of his money and stuff.
That's not a standard, though. You understand? That's not a
Dude.
Standard. It's not a standard. That's a completely different thing. That is some kind of weird.
I'm grabbing for straws, but wasn't like Milo or somebody like that. One of those guys.
I don't know.
I think Dave Rubin was on Patreon and got the F off there. There's been a lot of people, and not only that, most recently, they fired some people that were. Oh, maybe that was Kickstarter. Well, I think that all counts. I think Kickstarter fired somebody for trying to start a union.
Yeah, I heard that. I think
it was like a couple people.
Don't know anything about it, but
I'm sure Patreon would do the same thing if they had to do it.
Yeah, my point is it's not a standard.
Well, all right, fine, but it looks like they target certain people that they don't want for their thing. Sure. And of course, now that I'm talking about this BS.
Okay, so you know what else is funny though is like holding on to that right is a very conservative thing to want, right?
Yeah, well,
holding on to the rights, our business, we can do it how we want to.
That's a conservative attitude. I showed you Steeple.
I learned
okay here. I just showed you safe sex.
Sure.
Come on, Patreon. Don't shut me out now.
Back.
Those were okay. He's had the bag open for how long? A day.
Well, no,
so
this morning.
Oh, this morning.
Well, it's all day.
Honestly.
Yeah.
Yeah, it doesn't taste like he's. I don't have a control concerning these potato chips. They're okay though.
You haven't had a Lay's potato chip today?
Well, I don't have a control from an unopened bag of this.
Oh, okay.
So I don't know how crisp it really could be. It was kind of mushy, but
that was how it tasted.
All right, it's kind of mushy. It's kind of like nothing, but
high praise from Eugene.
All right, so okay, yeah, we'll save this for next week. We've got that.
That's next week?
Yeah, we'll have something for next week.
So that's a confirmation from Eugene that he will be present next week?
Well, he doesn't have to now. That's because he just handed that over.
Yeah. You're going to leave it in the safe?
It's cool.
Yes, that's what I'll do.
Put the mukbang in the safe.
It's called fettuccine gummy.
Are you serious?
Yeah. It's
okay.
My mouth is really dry from that potato chip too.
All right, put that stuff in the safe, man. Don't want that stolen. Let's go.
All right, so it says here you go.
I don't really understand what that says though. Like that doesn't make sense to me.
A lot of people left Patreon. I think a lot of that because of the Jeremy and
know what?
I bet it was that dude. Who's that guy you like? Let's use his JP. That JP guy you like?
Judas Priest.
The Canuck.
I don't like him.
Oh, okay.
I think that he has said some things that people have really overreacted to.
Okay, very good. Sorry. I don't mean to put words in your mouth. Anyway,
it's fine.
I think he had his stuff taken from him on Patreon also. And he was making a ton of money.
I don't think that's the only way he was making a ton of money, but yes.
I mean, well, it's nice when you don't have to do anything except collect.
No, I agree, but
holy cow. Yeah, well, you know what? This is my practice, my Patreon, and a bunch of goobers still use it. So maybe, I don't know. We're just working on it anyway.
Hey, man.
We're 5 years behind whatever trend is being set right now.
We're pretty ahead of it right now.
In 5 years.
There's people that aren't. I mean, we're still honing our talents, and
hunting or honing.
The extra part of the show, by the way. So
it is. Yeah. The show's over. We're just talking. Show's over. We're just talking. Mukbang. Fun. Anyway, yeah, I wish I could participate in the mukbang because I like trying new foods, and Eugene's always a good source.
Wait, there's food down where you are.
No, that not in my apartment, sir.
All right, this is what we can do. All right, so we could do something like order food and have it delivered to us because I'm sure this comes. Or you know what? He can just get 2 bags and we'll send one to you.
It's
And then
fine,
we'll do it
really.
at the same
It's fine. I can get it here. I'm almost
We could
certain.
really plan this. It would be
Well,
great.
you know,
You
maybe
can't
not.
do this. What are you going
Maybe
to ask
not.
for? You're gonna
Yeah.
ask for roasted potatoes.
I'm gonna
Do you have
ask
any
for
yes chips here?
fettuccine gummy things, and
Yeah,
they're gonna be
yes
like,
chips.
"Oh, right here."
Have you ever gone into a Chinese market?
Yes, once.
It's so confusing sometimes. So confusing.
They wouldn't sell me durian.
Holy cow! Holy cow! We have like we have 2.
I don't know what the
in
secret word
one
is.
block. In one block, we have 2. It's great.
One
you
block.
get so
Oh,
cheap.
here, yeah. There, I mean.
Where I live, not in Berkeley.
Hey, they want to know what the secret word is, man. They want to go home. They're done. They're like, tell us the secret word.
Love everybody. Love everyone.
Bring it tomorrow
Like
to
comic?
NCPD.
Oh yeah, that's good.
It is tomorrow.
What's
is
tomorrow?
New
What's
comic
tomorrow?
book day.
Oh yeah, NCBD. Everybody.
That's what I said.
Oh okay, I didn't
No,
hear you.
no big deal. But
Well, I got this guy. No, I'm just joking. I was going to blame Eugene. Let me just get to. There you go. All right, everybody. Good night, all.
Good night, everybody.
See you next time.
Did people ever really do Chinese fire drills? Is that a thing?
What is it?